Hi everybody, this is Tana Meyer with Proverbial Homemaker, and today we're going to chat a little bit about Lexercise and our experience with it in our homeschool. If you are homeschooling a child with dyslexia and you're struggling right now with that, make sure you check out Lexercise. This past year, they've really given me the tools and the confidence I need to be able to teach my son reading, writing, and spelling successfully. I am a homeschooling mom of 6 kids, and we love homeschooling. I am so thankful for the freedom and the flexibility that we have in homeschooling and the opportunity that it provides us for giving our children individualized teaching and a loving environment where they can really thrive. But I have to admit, at first I was overwhelmed and uncertain of what kinds of methods and materials would really help my dyslexic kiddo and set him up for success. This past year in our homeschool, he and I encountered some challenges on that journey that really had me looking for some extra support, and that's when I found Lexercise. Now, Lexercise is an online dyslexia therapy program that can help your kids develop skills like reading, writing, and spelling while providing you as the homeschool parent with the information and support that you need to teach your children effectively. If you're looking for a good dyslexia therapy solution, I'm going to share with you now what Lexercise is and how it worked for us and why it might be a good fit for you. Lexercise is an online therapy program specifically designed for children with dyslexia. It provides research-based reading, spelling, and writing therapy through a structured literacy program. It uses the Orton-Gillingham method, which we know is the gold standard for dyslexia therapy in the homeschool realm. So that was really exciting for me when I found a program that could do that. It really eliminates the need for expensive tutors and specialized educational materials. It's something that we can really afford in our homeschool. There are interactive lessons that adjust to your students' progress and needs, which is really, it's really dynamic and creates a more engaging experience for them. It's really simple to implement, and it only requires an internet connection and some basic materials like a small whiteboard and some, dry erase markers. And finally, it's really flexible to meet your family's busy schedule without having to worry about traveling or interrupting your homeschool routine. So here's how Lexercise works. Lexercise provides a guided curriculum with weekly lessons that are narrated by dyslexia expert and veteran homeschool mom, Sandy Berry Blackley. Parents are provided with a quick training video at the beginning that you can watch at first, and then you sit down with your student to work through the interactive lessons for the week. And then for the remainder of the week, at least four days for the remainder of the week, your students will practice what they learn in really fun and engaging online games. The program also gives suggestions for support activities that you can do with your child after they've completed those games, such as building sentences with word cards and doing word spelling on a whiteboard and dictation and practicing reading a particular set of words and so on. There are 2 therapy options that you can choose from when you start Lexercise. The first one is the basic therapy plan. It's more affordable for families and has self-paced online lessons that you work through with your child, and then you have access to a therapist that you can ask questions of any time. And the second option is the professional therapy option, where you have live online sessions with a therapist and they guide you through the weekly lessons together with your student. We signed up with the basic therapy program. My child and I go through the guided program together, and then I help him with any trouble spots that he comes across. I have access to great training materials as well as an assigned therapist that I can ask questions of any time when I need to. And we were able to really launch into using Lexercise right off the bat without much prep work. I was really impressed with how smooth the functionality and features are. It's a very high quality program. My son really loves the technology themes that are included, and it's very interesting. It keeps his interest and he's engaged in it and he really enjoys it. Now, here are the things that I really love about Lexercise. Number 1, the lessons are easy to implement. This is a huge deal for this busy mama. It helps me make sure that we're consistent with our lessons, which is really important for progress. I sit down and go through these lessons with him and then give him reminders, encouragement when needed. And then I'll make notes of any trouble spots he comes along. But these lessons are quick, they're not laborious, they're pretty easy to do together. The second thing is that the practice games are quick and fun. They give me a good idea of where my son needs additional instruction, and he doesn't complain about them at all because he loves them. I typically sit with him during those times, or I'm nearby so I can kind of keep an ear out and see how things are going. Number 3, there are a variety of parent-led review activities that you do after each lesson. And the program will recommend to you which ones that you should do based on the student's progress, although you have several others available to you if you want to do them. Number 4, I have access to an excellent dyslexia therapist. Ours has been just wonderful. She has saved me time and tears and sanity and made our Lexercise experience amazing. If we get really stuck in our program, then for an extra fee, we could do a live session with her, but usually I haven't had to use that at all, actually, because anytime I ask her a question, she comes back in a timely manner and gives me so much information and really helps us get us back on track. But I do like having that option in my back pocket, just in case we really get stuck. Number 5, we have a helpful parent dashboard. So when I log in, I can get useful feedback and student progress tracking. I can see where my son needs more practice, what areas we need to review that day, whether he's ready to move on to the next thing or not. And then finally, number 6, we have extensive support and training materials for parents in the program. So I, as a homeschool mom, and just, being very busy and tending to glaze over things, I'm kind of a lazy user when it comes to things like this. I just jump in without reading or watching anything. And that's pretty much what I did at the beginning. I just jumped in and started doing the lessons with my son and did that for a handful of months, and it still worked really well. It was great. But then one day I was poking around and I realized how much valuable information and resources were in this program for me as the teaching parent, and I started using them more often, and they have been a real blessing. Not only is there extra help for each lesson if you need it as a parent, but you can also find information on how to help your students deal with things like discouragement, what to do about extended breaks, and so on. So definitely check out all the options available to you in the dashboard and in the parent support. And one of the things I've appreciated about using Lexercise is how much that I'm learning about my son and how he learns best. That's probably one of the biggest blessings that we've come across. Through our struggles and his learning and the way that Lexercise teaches and the extra information and encouragement provided by our therapist, I am growing an understanding about how best to teach my child. And even better, we're actually enjoying this part of our homeschool journey again. My son loves the weekly lesson, but even more, he loves the daily game practice. You can even go to Lexercise and try out those games for yourself before you sign up for the program, just to see what they're like. My son also loves that the program awards him points for completed lessons and practice and activities and all of those things. He has a great time watching those points rack up when he's doing his lessons, and he's always giving me an update on how many points he has. And then Lexercise will email me when he reaches certain point milestones and encourage me to give him a reward of some kind for reaching those milestones, which is really fantastic and motivating for him. He can also see how many days in a row he's gone, what kind of a streak he has going with how many days he's done Lexercise in a row, and that motivates him to keep going and to keep being consistent with his work. And what I love to see is that he is growing in confidence as his skills improve. The other day, I actually heard him say to somebody that he's starting to be a pretty good reader, and that just really blessed my heart. There are many other features I could go into about Lexercise and why we enjoy it, but the best part about Lexercise is that it's working. We are seeing great progress and results with Lexercise. My son's reading fluency and confidence have increased dramatically. He is reading more for fun, and he signs up for things on his own, like reading challenges at church or at the library, which is he would have never done before. So that just shows that his confidence has really gone through the roof. And he's shown really good progress with spelling too, and that is really exciting to see. The methods that Lexercise uses to teach spelling and the ability to review lessons as needed has been really helpful to us, as well as the online games and the whiteboard activities that we do. Those have all really helped him to strengthen his spelling skills, and we're starting to see them stick, which has never happened before, so that's really exciting to see. Lexercise has given me confidence as a homeschooling parent, as the teaching parent, that my son is getting the language support that he needs. His reading is taken off, we're seeing improvement in spelling, and he loves the Lexercise program. When people ask him what his favorite subject is in school, he says Lexercise, and that just says a lot, right? Plus, the therapist and the tools that Lexercise provides me as the parent that's teaching my son has made a huge difference for us. We get help when we get stuck, and I learn how he learns best, and we are more consistent each week with his lessons. It has been a huge win in our homeschool. So the bottom line on Lexercise online dyslexia therapy for us is highly recommended. So be sure that if you have a kiddo who is struggling with reading and writing and spelling, to check out Lexercise today and see if it's a good fit for your family too.